Hey yo, what is up? Welcome back to World of Tanks. I got two new tanks for you guys today, both tier 9 premium tanks or reward tanks. I'm not sure yet. One is the 50-ton Lorraine. Now this is supposed to be a Lorraine but doesn't look like a Lorraine, looks like an AMX 51, doesn't it? It looks like a tier 9 AMX 51 heavy tank, but this is actually a tier 9 Lorraine. And yeah, and the other one is a Cobra, which is also a tier 9 tank, and we are going to go through both of them. This is apparently a premium tank. We will start with the Cobra, which is tier 9, 1600 hit points, 600 horsepower, 32 ton with 18.41 power to weight ratio. We are talking about a 600 horsepower tank with 18.41 power to weight ratio. This is quite an agile tank as far as I can tell, with a forward speed of 40 kilometers an hour going forward and 25 going backwards. The rotation speed is 46 degrees. Hull traverse speed, which is pretty good in my opinion. View range 400 meters. It has no hull armor, 120 frontally, turret armor 130. Doesn't look like there's a lot of hull armor or turret armor going on there. However, it does have 360 damage on its gun. The premium shell does 515 damage, and the HE shells does 515 damage as well. So it seems like the standard shell does 360 damage, premium shell does 515 damage, which I think it's a kind of weird kind of configuration, but I'll explain it to you. The penetration on the standard shell for the 360 damage is 268 penetration. So I think the stock shell, the standard shell, 268 penetration gives you 360 damage, while the premium shell, probably HE or something, only has 219 penetration but does 515 damage. And the other HE shell, I think standard HE shell, is 120 penetration for 515 damage as well. So this is kind of a weird configuration. But we'll find out what's going on with it. I'm not sure how it's all going to work out, but this seems to be like an auto loader or an auto reloader. I'm not sure, but it's got 4 shells and an intra clip of 1.33 seconds. Really quick intra clip. Something like 1.33 intra clip means it's like an AMX 1357 in tier 7. 1.33 is insane, but the full reload time is 50 seconds, which leads me to believe that this is a all-out auto loader and not an auto reloader. So 50 seconds reload time, 4 clips, 4 magazine clip, 1.33 reload time. Standard shells are going to be plenty because 360 alpha is already great for 268 penetration. So I would probably stick to the standard shells, which means if this is a premium tank or a reward tank, it's going to be cheap to run or profitable to run, because 268 penetration, standard penetration, means it is not premium shells. Standard shells 268 penetration with 360 alpha, it is going to be plenty of damage. Very good. I would be very happy with this. The only problem is the dispersion is 0.38, so pretty poor dispersion, and aim time 3.84 seconds. You do get 10 degrees of gun depression and 13 looking up, 10 degrees looking down. Another downside of this tank is going to be 28 shells that it can carry. That's all it can carry, 28 shells, and it has a 3-person crew. So another 3-person crew tank, which means probably, I don't know, the commander has the situational awareness perk, I guess. But the next tank is the Lorraine. The Lorraine is also pretty interesting. I'm thinking this has got to be some kind of medium tank because it says Lorraine 50 ton, right? I'm expecting it to perform like a Lorraine. So let's assume it is a medium tank and not a heavy tank. Even though it looks like a heavy tank, this has 400 alpha gun with 264 standard penetration, 308 premium penetration, which I assume is going to be heat or APCR. I think it's going to be heat. 308 penetration for heat, which is plenty of penetration for a tier 9. Again, I'm not sure if this is a premium tank or this is a reward tank, but 264 standard penetration for 400 alpha damage. If it's standard shells, it is pretty good, which means you don't need to fire a lot of premium shells, which means you can either save a lot of credits or you can make a lot of credits if this is a premium tank. The only problem is 14 seconds reload time, which means even if you run rammer BIA, you can only probably get it down to about 12 seconds of loading time. Dispersion is pretty good, 0.33, which means if you run all the goodies, you could probably get it down to 2.928 dispersion. You're talking about a German accuracy here, very accurate gun with 10 degrees of gun depression, 15 degrees of gun elevation. Ammo is not a problem because you can carry 55 shells. The speed 60 kilometers an hour going forward, 20 going backwards. Horsepower 1000 horsepower, which is really good. Power to weight ratio 18.2 horsepower per ton. So we are talking about a very mobile, very agile tank. This is definitely going to be a medium tank with incredible agility. Hull traverse speed 34 degrees, which means it cannot turn its hull super quick, but 34 degrees is plenty quick even for this tank, so it's going to be great. Hit points 1900 hit points. No hull armor to speak of because it has only 90 millimeters of hull thickness in the front, but it is a little bit sloped, so maybe if you are hull down you can bounce a little bit from the hull, if I'm not mistaken. But 90 degrees, 90 millimeters is not a lot, even though it has a lot of slope. Turret armor 250, which to be honest with you in tier 9 isn't that great. A lot of people are going to pan you even with standard penetration, so not too much in terms of turret armor there, only 250 frontally, but it does have a little bit of slope, so maybe that can save you. Yeah, so 400 meters of view range. These are my two new tanks that I have for you today, which is entering into a Supertest 2 tier 9. Either they are reward tanks or they are premium tanks, or they are premium reward tanks. They could be premium tanks and they're going to give it out as some kind of reward. So who knows what's going to be happening with these two tanks. My guess is as good as yours. This is a 4-man crew in this tank, so there isn't going to be any kind of funky situational awareness with the commanders. So there you go, two tanks that I have for you. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.